Well, it's finally over. After 5 agonizing years of enduring what could be one of the worst books and film series of all time, it's finally over. But I can't help but feel a little melancholic, if you will. You see, I'm glad that the whole saga is finally over. But damn, the last movie didn't disappoint. The quality was as bad as its predecessors. Breaking Dawn. It's Twilight, so I'm gonna guess you all know who the hell's who by now. But here's the gist of the whole Breaking Dawn Part 2. So basically, Bella is now one of those sparkly zombie thing. She gave birth to something like a half zombie child, and her werewolf boyfriend, well, not werewolf, more like a shape-shifting boyfriend, fell in love with the baby. So yeah, we got everything in this great saga of Twilight. We have necrophilia, we have bestiality, and then we have pedophilia. So basically, the whole movie is about them being a happy family for about 45 minutes until one of those vampire gangster mafia thing caught wind that, oh, there's an immortal child. Basically, gangster vampire doesn't like baby vampires because they're more uncontrollable or some bullshit. So basically, they start gathering an army to go kill each other, and then nothing happens and they live happily ever after. Cheers. You know, I can just sit here and just pretty much moan and bitch about how the acting sucked, the story sucked, but how much of that can I blame the actual people working on this film? Considering how abysmally bad the source material was, how much can we blame the actors and the directors and the crew working on this film? Oh yeah, Kristen Stewart still sucked, but if you want to hear how bad she is, just go and watch my Snow White review, especially part 2, where I pretty much butcher her performance. Well, if I had to get into details, then I would say Stewart's performance hasn't improved since Snow White. She's still the same expressionless doll, basically. I mean, I think she can become like an actress in the coming future, but she really needs to go to some actress class or something because she's not getting any better. And her Bella character is really badly written. I mean, everybody just pretty much fell in love with her at first sight. She's this perfect individual, she's beautiful, she can do this and that, yada yada yada. And the same thing happened once she transformed into a zombie, basically. I'm not gonna call it a vampire, it's insulting. And after she became a zombie, she basically becomes stronger than everybody, and then she suddenly had this power where she projects like a barrier for other people. You know, like Susan Storm from the Fantastic Four, where she had like this invincible shield and stuff. Her character was really, really bland. I mean, I'm not even angry with the performance, it's just boring. And yeah, Lautner and Pattinson, the purpose of their character is basically fan service. They did nothing else. They don't really make anything better. In this movie at least. They're just there. So yeah, all the 3 main casts are just like cardboard cutouts. There's nothing interesting about them, and there was basically no development on all 3 of them for the past 5 films basically. And as I said before, how much can we blame this on the people working on the film? They got nothing to work on. They can't really like suddenly turn this into something meaningful, because then it would basically not be Twilight, basically. And you can actually tell in this film that the directors and everybody working on it actually try to turn it into something better. But since they are constricted with the fact that this is a Twilight book, a Twilight saga basically, they can't really branch out into other frontiers, because then it basically won't be Twilight, it will be something else entirely. Okay, here's the strange thing about this. I'm not angry or pissed off about this film, sure, this is a really bad piece of cinema. It's something that deserves to be forgotten and buried in the desert like that E.T. video game that came out. But I'm not angry. It's just, I'm just bored. The movie is so unforgivingly predictable. There was nothing that you can actually call a surprise, but there is a surprise in the film, but in a bad way, in a really bad way. But I'll get to that later. But basically, you know where it's gonna go and you know how you're gonna get there. You know how some people said that, oh, it's not the destination that matters, but the journey? Well, here's the thing. That we know what the destination is. We know what the journey is gonna be like. Both are bad. It's like if you go to visit a really bad cousin. The journey there is gonna be painful. The destination is gonna be painful. You know it's gonna be like that. So basically, it was just a bad ride all around. So basically, I sat through the whole film. Nothing stimulated me at all. And then when it's finally over, I just walked out of the theater and I felt empty, basically. No anger, no hatred, no joy, just emptiness. I know this is one of the most major complaint and criticism of the Twilight Saga on the whole, is that nothing in the film or books in that matter made sense. And it doesn't. Nothing in this book made sense. Everything just pretty much happens for no particular reason or any backstory to it at all. And some event just happened and then just basically forgotten for the rest of the movie. So yeah, there was this scene at the beginning of the movie where Kristen Stewart throw a tantrum at the wolf boy because he imprints, which basically means that he fell in love with the newborn baby. She started getting really pissed and start screaming and stuff, pretty much as bad as the Charlize Theron Ravenna character in Snow White. And she started beating the crap out of him and then start throwing him out of the house and stuff. But here's the thing, after all of that tantrum, throwing the guy out of the house, beating the crap out of him, she still let him back in. So I don't understand, why was that scene necessary in the first place? So yeah, that was the number one thing that doesn't make sense. The second one is that the half zombie daughter, her name's Renesmee or something, I don't know. And here's the thing, if you've seen the movie called The Fly 2, it's a sequel to the Jeff Goldblum movie. The Fly child pretty much growing like in about 5 years, he pretty much grows to the size of a grown adult. The same thing happened with Renesmee. After a few months of being born, she's the size of like an 8-year-old. And there's no explanation of why this is happening. Why is half zombie growing when it is established that these things don't grow? And then at the end of the movie, this guy showed up and said, "Oh, he's a half zombie too," and he said that he grows to like 7 years old. Then he just stopped growing at 7 years old, and at that point on, they are an immortal. Basically, they don't age and they don't die unless probably get a bullet through the head. Can someone please explain to me why? There is really no explanation for this at all, and things just happen on a whim. And the next thing is that the father character, this is the only character I actually give a crap about in the whole movie, is because that this guy is like a victim in the whole book. You can pretty much say that, oh, Bella and Edward and whatever the wolf guy is called, it's like suffering, or they have this love triangle. But I think the main victim of this whole saga is the dad character, because he had to suffer through everything. He's always been kept in the dark. He's worried sick about his daughter, and his daughter is basically like a total bitch who pretty much hurts people because she feels like it. He's like, oh, you're gonna be free and independent. I'm pretty much gonna break your heart and pretty much abandon you. So here's the thing. The wolf boy revealed that Jacob, yeah, I remember now, his name is Jacob, and he revealed to the dad that he's a werewolf, shapeshifter, skinwalker, whatever you want to call it. And her dad is like, oh, you gotta tell me something, and then she said, oh, I can't tell you because then the gangster vampire is gonna come out and kill him. And I'm surprised he doesn't actually put things together and just start like, okay, if that wolf thing exists, then the zombie may exist. But he never actually made a connection. And the weird thing is that she keep visiting him like on a monthly basis, basically. And she said that, oh, we adopted the child, because she's not gonna say that she gave birth to like a mutant abomination or something. So she basically visited him on a monthly basis, and then every time she just grow more and more. The guy still doesn't know that this baby is growing at like a very unnatural rate. Okay, I don't know if this is something that happened in Washington state or something, but in the period of 8 months, children don't grow from a baby toddler to an 8-year-old. And the guy doesn't notice that. And here's the funny thing. Did they run out of budget to make them sparkle or something? Because the one thing I noticed is that there was a scene where Belle was like, start walking into the sunlight because she wants to see herself sparkle, and nothing comes up. And I'm like, what did you flounder all your budget on? I mean, there was no sparkle. It was something funny, because like this is the most famous thing about Twilight, is that they turn something as scary and as gothic as vampire creatures of the night into a sparkly zombie, and this trait was missing in the movie, and I thought it was the most funniest thing in the movie at that point. And one last thing that I don't understand is that how come when you become this zombie, you start getting superpowers? I mean, one of them have like electro shock where you like taste someone by just touching them, and this other guy from like Egypt or something, when they were gathering their armies and stuff, this other guy from Egypt can control the elements, so he basically can summon Captain Planet on a whim. And there was no explanation at all how come they start getting random power. Some can read minds, some can telepathically hurt people, some can like summon a dark cloud that makes you deaf and blind and stuff, but we need some explanation. I mean, I know I'm asking too much, maybe I'm overthinking the Twilight book, basically, but please, there is such a thing as a backstory, there is such a thing as like, you kind of have to build, this is basically a fantasy book, and you created your own world in here, and you need to have something like of a lore, not L-A-W-L-A-O-R-E, lore, and explain how did these people get power. Is it because they have a soul that is attached to the element? Do they have like power in the last life or something, or was it something that they contracted from the other zombies or something? But the movie just leaves everything blank, and it's just pretty much wants us to just accept that it happens.